review. Fantasy for you, for you, for you, for you.
Hello everyone, my name is Ryan and welcome to Castletree TV. This week's song is inspired by a book/film that is the godfather of the fantasy genre. It is without question part of the most influential series ever written. My friends, the film of which I speak is the orc-infested hobbit adventure of sword-clashing, elf-dashing, and wizardly ways. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring! The Fellowship of the Ring hit theaters in 2001 and was based on a 1954 novel of the same name, written by J.R.R. Tolkien. While Tolkien definitely helped bring fantasy into the mainstream, it's good to remember that his tales were inspired by those way before his time. He was heavily inspired by the writings, languages, and fantasies of Icelandic traditions, especially the Old Norse sagas. He also drew inspiration from William Morris's translation of Beowulf and Grimm's fairy tales. The 2001 film version of The Fellowship of the Ring was directed by New Zealand native Peter Jackson, a name that most people hadn't heard of at that time. Before The Lord of the Rings, Jackson was mostly involved in oddball horror comedies or just straight-up blood-soaked zombie flicks. Jackson's film Dead Alive once held the record for most fake blood ever used in a film, and is considered by many to be one of the goriest films of all time. It's his work in the film Heavenly Creatures that brought him to mainstream prominence in the film industry. Now let's go behind the scenes of this film and unearth some juicy details you may or may not know, in a segment we're calling Guess What I Heard, hosted by our dear friend, sweet old Mrs. Gertie Pepperstein. And now to you, Gertie.
Guess what I heard? Peter Jackson hates wizards. It's true. It's true. He doesn't like wizards and magic in movies. It's true. He said he doesn't like wizards firing those lightning bolts from their fingertips and doing all of that wizardy type stuff. Oh, that's the reason the fight between Gandalf and Saruman is just two old guys beating the heck from one another. All of that violence upsets my stomach and gives me gas. Who knew? Now you do. Guess what I heard? Viggo Mortensen wasn't the first pick to play Aragorn. What? Stuart Townsend, very nice boy, was hired early on to play the role, but apparently wasn't taking it too seriously. What? Skipping sword fighting lessons and whatnot. They fired him the day before shooting. Oh. Viggo almost didn't take the role, but was convinced by his son, who was a huge Tolkien fan. My son convinced me to go to the Olive Garden one night. All of that international cuisine upset my ulcer. Who knew? Now you do. Guess what I heard? The Hobbiton set was constructed on Mata Mata, a town on New Zealand's North Island. It was over 1.5 miles square and took over a year to build. All of those little Hobbit extras were locals from the nearby farming community in Mata Mata. Some of Peter Jackson's family are in those shots as well. Some of those hobbits are a bit too much for me, though. I couldn't live in a hill like that. What am I, I'm old? Who knew? Now you do.
Thank you, Mrs. Pepperstein, for that informative behind-the-scenes briefing. Now, let's talk about
music.
The music for The Fellowship of the Ring was composed by the legendary Howard Shore. Shore also created the music for such films as Gangs of New York, Big, The Silence of the Lambs, Seven, The Cell, The Departed, and Aviator, just to name a few. Shore won 3 Academy Awards for his work on the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and those songs were paramount to the film's success. Try imagining those scenes from The Shire without that flute medley. Or try to imagine those scenes from Mordor without those pulsing drums and those deep growling brass ensembles. Shore hit it out of the park with this one, and it brought the film to absolute perfection. That being said, my song for this week's episode sounds absolutely nothing like anything that Howard Shore has ever created. Instead, I thought we could have a little bit of fun with it and try a blending of a few different musical genres. What's up, sunshine? What you doing? I'm actually in the middle of the Lord of the Rings episode.
Lord of the Rings? Is that like a jewelry store or something?
The movie, Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring?
I don't know. I must have missed that one while I was living my life and being awesome.
It literally has like the most famous wizard of all time. I feel like you're just messing with me.
You think because it has a wizard in it, I should start a fan club or something? Have you seen every movie with a stupid human in it? It doesn't matter. I have somewhere to be, and I'd like to arrive in a timely fashion.
You've never been on time for anything in your entire life.
A wizard is never late, loser. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Seriously? So you have seen it?
No, okay, look, that's just old wizard jargon. Completely coincidental.
You literally just recited one of the first lines in the film, verbatim.
You need to chill out, bro, and watch your tone with me.
Or what? What are you gonna do? You're like the shittiest wizard ever.
Do not take me for some conjurer of cheap tricks!
What's wrong? Why are you doing that?
You just said another line from the movie.
Dude, what do you want me to do? I'm just talking like I always talk. I'm not messing with you. Okay, look, you seem stressed out, and I don't want to be the cause of that. To me, our friendship is precious.
Okay, I'm leaving now.
You shall not pass!
Cosmic brothers united by the endless forces of the universe.
What would the world be like if Frodo didn't take the ring? Would he and Samwise Gamgee just get wasted at the pub and finally admit that they were madly in love? Maybe Gandalf would have kept the ring all for himself, overcome by madness from the evil that it held. Hosting wizard parties, getting high on fairy dust, eating stuffed crust pizza but just throwing out the crust. Maybe Legolas would open up a hair salon, come and get the look of Rivendell like Lord Elrond. There's no way to tell exactly how the world would be if Frodo didn't destroy the ring with Samwise Gamgee. It would be like this. Welcome to Mordor.
Waves of endless fire, as far as you can see. Mankind bending the knee, there's nowhere left to flee. The Shire's been burned to ash, and you can kiss my ass.
Would Aragorn rise up and be the hero that we knew? Or make a sex tape with Arwen and sell it to ElfTube? Would Merry and Pippin become the meanest pimps in town? The Hobbiton red light district's no place to mess around. Gimli would have shaved his beard and got himself a suit, selling dreams and pyramid schemes to all the elves he knew. Saruman would probably become a comet troll, calling everyone snowflake and ending with a lull. Who's to say what would have happened
If they never dropped the ring into
to the fires of Mount Doom
and fried it up like crispy bacon?
There's no telling if the heroes
Of this tale would still prevail,
would they ride into the fight or
fade away into the night.
I choose the night. Welcome to Mordor.
Waves of endless fire, as far as you can see. Mankind bending the knee, there's nowhere left to flee. The Shire's been burned to ash, and you can taking the ring away. Who knows?
Today I sat and thought about a truly awful thing. What would the world be like if Frodo didn't take the ring?
We create
And review.
We create
And review.
We create and review fantasy for you, for you, for you, for you.